Let's look at Richard. He's a retired engineer out of Cincinnati who spent 41 years at the same firm. He packed a brown paper bag lunch most days and lived comfortably below his means. He drove the same Buick for 23 of those years. Richard was disciplined. He did exactly what the financial industry told him to do. Every year since 1984, he maxed out his 401k. He took the company match, and he never panicked during market crashes. He kept feeding the machine, deferring his taxes, and happily reading the quarterly statements that said he was on track. Then he turned 73. On that specific birthday, the tax code patiently and methodically executes a trap set decades ago. The IRS slides in to collect. Deferring taxes indefinitely works flawlessly while you are accumulating wealth. But the moment you enter the withdrawal phase, that exact same strategy manufactures a rigid, unavoidable tax liability. Between a modest pension and Social Security, Richard has $84,000 flowing in, sitting comfortably in the 12% bracket. Then the required minimum distribution lands. The IRS mandates a $37,000 withdrawal from his IRA, stacking directly on his existing income. Because the thresholds for taxing Social Security haven't been adjusted for inflation since the early 1990s, that new income spike vaporizes his safe harbor. Up to 85, the combination of the forced withdrawal and the newly exposed Social Security benefits drags him out of the 12% bracket, straight through the 22% bracket, and bleeds into the 24% bracket. Every required minimum distribution triggers a multi-layered tax cascade, eroding the purchasing power you spent 40 years building. The primary detonator is the overstuffed traditional pre-tax 401k. To disarm it, you have to use the harvest window. This is the period, typically between age 60 and 72, when you have stopped working but haven't yet been forced to take RMDs. This matrix compares the traditional 401k on the left with a Roth IRA on the right. The strategy is to systematically move chunks of your pre-tax money over to the Roth. You voluntarily pay the tax now at a known rate to lock the money into a vehicle that is permanently immune to RMDs and Medicare share charges. The trade-off is simple friction. You have to pay the tax bill from out-of-pocket cash today. But doing so creates a positive return on investment by permanently immunizing your capital against a compounding tax penalty later. The second problem is the consolidation rollover IRA. This is the account most people build up passively by rolling over old 401ks every time they change jobs over a multi-decade career. When you try to convert these funds, you hit the Pro-Rata rule. The IRS aggregates all your traditional IRAs together. If you have any pre-tax money sitting in any of them, the government forces you to calculate the taxes on your conversion proportionally. Fixing your 401k and rollover IRAs requires eating a calculated tax cost right now. Avoiding that cost today simply guarantees an unknown, uncontrollable tax extraction at age 73. The third account you must restructure is the inherited non-spousal IRA.
The Secure Act wiped out the old rules that allowed you to smoothly stretch the tax burden over your entire life expectancy. The new requirement is strict. If you inherit an IRA from a parent, the account must be entirely drained by the end of the 10th year following their death. This line chart shows what happens if you wait until year 10. Your tax liability stays flat for 9 years, but taking the entire balance as a lump sum in year 10 creates a massive, unavoidable tax spike, pushing you into the highest marginal brackets. To defend against this, you must front-load the withdrawals. By taking distributions during your lowest income years, you smooth out the tax burden and keep the money in lower brackets. With an inherited IRA, deferral is no longer an asset. It is a trap that manufactures a personal tax catastrophe if left unmanaged. The fourth target is variable annuities held inside a qualified IRA or 401k. The primary selling point of an annuity is tax deferral. But if you hold it inside an IRA, you are paying a premium for a tax-deferred insurance wrapper placed around an account that already provides you with free tax deferral. This creates a heavy drag on your portfolio. Between mortality charges, sub-account fees, and rider fees, you are often paying over 3% annually for a tax benefit you already own. The solution is to calculate your declining surrender fee schedule. Once it makes mathematical sense, exit the product and move the cash into low-cost index funds within the same IRA. Eliminating these redundant fees before RMDs begin is one of the only mathematically certain ways to immediately improve a portfolio's survival rate. The fifth account traps conservative investors: high-yield bank CDs held in taxable accounts. This creates a phantom income trap. Every dollar of interest from that CD generates a 1099 int. When RMDs start, that interest stacks on top of your withdrawals and pushes your provisional income over the threshold where your Social Security becomes taxable. To prevent this, you can restructure those taxable assets into municipal bonds. This scorecard compares the two options. When you look at Account A, the high-yield CD at a 4.5% gross yield, it looks mathematically superior on paper to Account B, the municipal bond at 3.5%. But when you calculate the net after-tax yield, the math flips. The stealth tax cascade slashes the CD's effective yield down to 2.4%. Because the municipal bond is federally tax-free, it protects your Social Security, avoids the IRMA cliff, and wins the comparison. You have to sacrifice a higher gross yield on paper to actually achieve a higher net yield in reality. The IRS views your tax-deferred accounts as a joint venture. Surviving the transition at age 73 is entirely about taking control of how you exit that partnership. This quadrant chart will help you map your specific timeline to age 73 against your total pre-tax exposure. If you are a saver or an aggregator in the critical 60 to 72 harvest window, you are in the upper right quadrant. Your primary mission is executing multi-year Roth ladders, regardless of the short-term tax friction. If you are a conservative investor relying heavily on taxable interest, you fall into the lower right quadrant. Your priority is immediate portfolio rebalancing into tax-exempt alternatives to protect your provisional income. Do the math. Pay the taxes voluntarily on your own terms today, because the alternative is paying them involuntarily at a rate they choose on the IRS's terms tomorrow.